How you been feeling about what's going on right now, Kenyatta? I know I've had conversations with Zuli. Minneapolis.
I mean, you know, it was a lot at first. Honestly, I really tried. I wouldn't say I tried to ignore it. I just didn't want to be, I don't know, I had different emotions. I'll say that. A lot of very different emotions. And then yesterday was when it really hit me, you know, and it's like, how do I feel? I'm angry. I'm sad. I'm motivated. That's really my main thing, is to be motivated over any of those other emotions, to do the work so that this doesn't continue to happen. I mean, something has to change for something to change. And that's where I'm at.
You know, I did the numerology on George Floyd, up to 13, and 13 is number for death and regeneration.
You said 13 is what?
The number for death and regeneration. And so
I like it.
It's unfortunate that he had to lose his life, and that his life was the death that happened, you know. However, I think that from a spiritual perspective, we can see a great regeneration of a movement, regeneration of, you know, the change that needs to happen, actually happening. And I'm hoping, like, you know, I know Julie and I on the show the other day, she said something about the attorney for George Floyd's family, stating that this was the tip of the iceberg. And it was like, man, we didn't hit the tip of the iceberg.
She said she saw what?
What was it, Julie? The attorney said something about it being the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, George Floyd's lawyer said this was the tipping point.
Oh, the tipping point. There we go. It was the tipping point. And then we were talking about, wasn't Trayvon Martin the tipping point? Like, how many are we going to have, you know, before it's really...
It's a tipping point. And my thing is, I don't want it to hit so close to home. It hits home because it'll be the tipping point for who? It's been the tipping point for me.
Right.
You know, it could be any of us, unfortunately, and that's the honest truth. And that's where I'm just so, like, that's where my emotion and my like my everything that I feel about all of this. I mean, even, you know, it just makes me feel so, I don't know, ignited almost, but also upset. I don't know, just different emotions. But yeah, it's like, I don't want it to get to a point to where it's someone that's really, really, really close to me. I was like, no, let's stop it now. It should have stopped a long time ago. And we keep turning a cheek to it.
And I hear what you're saying, and I had that thought, and then I thought, but isn't he close to all of us, really? I mean, in the regard of the fact that he's another Black man, or all of them, you know, it may not be my brother, my sister, he was somebody's.
100%.
Somebody's son, somebody who looks like me, who ancestral bloodline could be directly connected to mine. He's definitely close enough, you know.
Definitely.
And it's like the child, you know, the child that dies young, and it's your friend or somebody you know, and they lose their child, and your first thought is like, well, God, I'm so happy it wasn't mine. You know, but you still feel the pain. Like, you almost feel guilty that your child is still here.
Absolutely.
I've been through that. You know, I had a friend who was a child. She was 3 years old when she passed, and it was horrific, you know. And I find myself looking back that I don't get as close to kids as I used to, because that just hurt me so bad, because I took her everywhere. I did a lot with that little girl once I got to know her. Me, her, and Shadea, what was the team, you know? So it was really, and the comparison I make is because it may not be our brother, it may not be our son, but it's still someone close enough that the reality that it could have been hits home, you know?
Absolutely. I agree.
I remember when I decided to do the whole in the city thing. It was right after Trayvon. I think it was after George got away with it. I don't know if it was after he got away with it, but I do know it had something to do with Trayvon Martin, and they had the picture of the hoodie. And I turned around in the back seat, and I saw Elijah sitting in the back seat with this orange hoodie. And it just rocked me. Like, in 10 more years, this could be you. You know, he was 5 at the time. And that's something that I think as parents, you know, and even as aunties, you know, we can't help but feel when we see that this is happening. And it's, you know, the crazy thing is I think this man knew George. Did you know they worked at the same?
Yes, they did. They worked at the same I don't know if it was a hotel or if it was
it was
okay.
a woman.
Wait, the murderer?
Yeah, the cop.
This woman owns a nightclub, and she was on CNN, I think it was yesterday, being interviewed, and she said that she was really shocked that he actually killed someone, but she's not surprised that he was a Black man, because when she has nights and she has hip hop, you know, urban, what she calls urban nights at her club, and the other nights is Latina, but the nights that she does have urban nights, that this man is really aggressive with the African American community, that he's calling his buddy cops to come and hang out.
Oh, so he's a racist, basically.
So,
I mean,
racist and scared, I guess, just, you know, just has a little bit more fear when it's all Black people coming to the club than he does when it's Latino, right?
But he's the killer.
But he's the killer. George worked the club security on nights that were urban nights for her. So she said, I can't say for sure that they knew each other because I wasn't like there watching to see how they related with each other. I'm sure they probably worked on some nights together, but I don't know if they recognized each other in this moment when George was down on the ground.
I mean, he probably just saw him as another Black man because he's a racist and just hates Black people.
Yeah, but I think that he might know him if they worked at that club together. And I think that they're going to be able to find something that happened in the past and this man intentionally killed him. That's what I really think.
So do you feel like basically that he was hunted by this man?
This man saw an opportunity to get him and did it. And
why him? Like, why him specifically?
Right, that's what she's saying. There's probably a whole other story.
They might have had an altercation, just like the guy.
Okay.
Did you know that the woman in Texas who shot the man in his house, thinking she was going into her apartment and thought she was a cop and thought she was shooting some intruder in her apartment?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
that they were dating. They dated in the past.
You know, I thought I heard that at one point, but I also thought that I heard that was
I heard
true.
that was false. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She didn't know him.
Okay. Yeah. I just remember hearing they were dating. I never heard anything else.
But then, I mean, it's pure racism is what it is, you know, because then let's not forget, this happened to George Floyd, but there are other people who lost their life.
I'm sure that they may have had an altercation, that racism was definitely a catalyst.
Well, yeah, for them, 100%. Let's talk about Ahmaud, who was hunted down. That was a racist act as well.
Right.
It's always been.
Right. Oh, there's people waiting in the room. Sorry. Someone's joining. I'm not sure who it was. Hi.
Hey, Algie.
Hey, Algie.
It's Kenyatta and Zuli. I don't know. Well, you can see Kenyatta's name, but Kenyatta's name. She just don't have her beautiful face on the screen right now. And Zuli's busy. She's always busy.
Oh, I'm doing 10,000 things. I'm trying to eat. I told you I just built that garden today. I'm tired.
Hey. How you doing? You over there sewing? Kenyatta, I can't hear y'all. Did y'all mute yourselves?
There we go. Hey there.
Hey, Algie.
Hey.
How's it going?
Oh my gosh, busy during this quarantine. all good.
You've been busy, yeah. So how's the state working with the kids in the foster care system? My girlfriend in Seattle said that Washington State was trying to demand that we start doing the visitations and things again, but their offices are still closed. And she's like, how you gonna demand me to drive these kids around to do these visits, but y'all are still at home safe?
Yeah, no, our agency, we still doing everything virtual.
Everything's virtual, right?
They're gonna open the office in June, but it's only gonna be for limited, like for the kids who really can't focus during their sessions. That's they're gonna have the office open. They're really taking it one step at a time. And we even took a break just because we didn't want to get anybody get sick or get anyone else sick or anything like that. So we took a break. So I'll get more kids on the 5th, I do believe. I'll get more, but I just kind of wanted to, because I had some and it was a little stressful, so I just took a little break.
I can understand that.
Yeah, we were being stalked by the mother. She wasn't supposed to have our address, and she showed up at the house and just clowning.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I've heard of those things happening. We've had those issues too. That's crazy though.
Yeah, I'm hoping one day they can implement some type of rule or something. Like, I understand the circumstances and where she was coming from.
That's why Washington State
care for a reason.
Washington State does not allow the foster parent to be involved in the visitation.
Oh, really?
For that reason.
Really? Maybe Nevada needs to look at that. But she had an older. Her daughter was 14. Okay. She called her on the phone and gave her the address.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so she ended up rolling over here. So you gotta file police reports and all that stuff.
Right.
It was a lot.
You don't want to, but you have to. Yeah.
And then they asked me because she got into it with her brother where her daughter was placed. So they sent the little girl back. And they asked me to take her back. And I was like, I just don't want to take any more chances. So I feel kind of bad.
Right.
I just don't want to take any chances.
No, you got to cover yourself.
You have to.
Yeah. That's like one of the foster parents said, I need y'all to come get this child because I want to keep being a foster parent. And if I keep this child, I might not want to be a foster parent anymore.
And that's what that's the crazy part. They try to get you to keep them, but sometimes you get that way. It's really stressful. I tried to my last point, and then when I can't, I'm like, okay, we need to put in a 30-day notice. But then you got to keep them for 30 days.
For 30?
Like, I'm trying.
You got to keep them 30 days?
Yeah. I had the 14-year-old. I couldn't do it anymore. If I wasn't calling the police, I had told her there's nothing else we really can do. Or anything. So
what are you thinking about what's going on with cop by murder by cop, whatever it is?
Man,
I can't breathe. Get your knee out my neck. I was on the strip briefly yesterday trying to catch up to the protesters that I didn't realize had been out there all day. I was told there was a protest at 6 o'clock at the MLK statue. So that's where I went. Nothing was happening. Then I looked on Sharita's post, and she had posted all these people down on Las Vegas Boulevard by Fashion Show Mall. So they were headed towards Trump Tower. But guess what the police did? They parked all their cars on the street in front of Trump Tower and created a barricade to keep anyone from getting anywhere near Trump Tower.
Oh, really? Oh, so they're trying to protect you.
There were, and I'm going to say there were at least 100 cop cars on this street.
Are you serious?
I'm boxed in.
Wow. So I guess they don't want it to turn out like the other cities. Because, in LA, they're burning up stuff.
In LA, they're burning up stuff too?
Yeah, Atlanta. But Atlanta mayor,
they're burning stuff up in LA.
She sounded like a true black mom. She was like, cut it out, go home. She was mad.
I've only walked through and seen my mom watching Minnesota news about the
Minnesota. And I understand they're angry, and I get it. When it happened to Fernando Castile, that's when that one hurt.
Right.
I mean, they all hurt, but that one really resonated because you know how much I love the babies, and that baby was in the
In
back
the
seat.
back seat, right.
Yeah, that, ooh.
And
It still makes me tear up. That day it happened, I remember sitting in my car and crying. I could not take myself to work because I was so worked up, and then I started thinking like, oh my God, that could be my husband, because Stuart works in the school. And the guy was a good guy after hearing all the people give a really great report about him. I'm like, why? Like, just because of the color of his skin. Just because of the color of his skin. Right. So that's when I saw this one, I couldn't. When he called for his mom, I can't watch that video.
I didn't watch it, but I've heard, like, it'll, when I'm walking through my living room to get to my bedroom from the kitchen or whatever, and my mom's got the news running, I saw a clip during that time of it, and I heard him calling out for his mother, and it was absolutely horrific.
Yep. And that's
absolutely horrific.
And I understand where they're going with the riots, but I wish they just, my only thing is, you tear up everything where you live, then what's left? You know,
they're not. That's the thing. The governor, the lieutenant governor, I think the police chief, they were all saying that these are not the residents coming in here destroying this. The people that they're arresting are agitators.
I agree.
Coming in from other cities. They don't even live there.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm. There's white supremacist groups.
Yes, there was
to businesses that are Black owned. Mm-hmm.
Yes, they were saying that there was a cop.
Shit, there's folks coming in there and burning it up.
Wow. Yeah, they were saying there was a cop. They were saying there's a cop running around with a mask on, and who was who was like burning things up and throwing things up, crashing everything, and he had a mask on. So it's just like that's probably what he was told to do, or maybe he's just like, let's do it and make it look like it's them. And
right. Wow. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. How many masks you made?
Ooh, this is probably not a lot, probably my 4th or 5th one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about making some masks. I thought we could make some masks that have the Linda City logo on them.
That would be dope.
Right?
Everybody putting, right.
Or so I say something. I think I can't breathe on the mask would be powerful.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it would.
You're wearing the mask,
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, when people talk about them burning up this, even if there are people that are destroying the city, which I don't know. I don't know. I'm not there. But
right.
It's like there should be. I don't think that. My whole thing is not rebuilding with this group of people. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not interested in rebuilding. Like, why can't we get our own cities? Why can't we get our own towns? Why can't we have our own communities and rebuild those?
Right.
And separate. I don't know.
No better. Not those.
So I know that we wanted to come together to talk about what we could do as artists and activists to, one, definitely push the movement forward, help gain some momentum for membership, but also to get people and make people aware and want to join and become actively involved in the callings and things of that nature. I know, Algie, you created your Facebook, your page on Minda City. I'm guilty because I'm not actively using it. Are you guys open to us going live on Facebook?
Oh, I'm cool. Go right
Yeah.
ahead.
You're good?
Just make sure you do it from the Minda City page.
I did. Oh, wait, hold on. I thought I did. Where did it go? Post.
And I started my profile, but I haven't built it yet. I need to go in and do that. But we do need our own social media platform.
Yeah, and it is. Like, we can go on there and talk and do all kinds of stuff. I don't think I can go live yet. Damon's going to look into some live streaming options for me on that.
And then, yeah, I think if we like just start spreading it, I think in the Mendicity page and then putting it on like the Blackout 2020 page. And start letting people know like this is a social media platform that you can join for Blacks only.
Must post a picture.
Right.
Some folks have a problem with that too, but I don't care.
But even like some of the, we have to understand white people are going to get on the platform. Because it's on the internet, there's no way for us to truly monitor whether they're Black or not.
Right.
Right.
And the thing is, it's not that we're actually trying to necessarily even be exclusively Black. We want white people who are going to advocate on behalf of us, recognize their privilege, and stand up. We're not actually asking to like completely rid our lives of white people.
Next. I think we're about to go live now.
Some of us even have families, you know,
And
friends.
Sharif is coming in. Courtney and Sharif. I don't know how long they've been there. I wish that thing would like beep or make a noise. Hi, beautifuls. How y'all doing? I can't get off mute. Everybody off mute. Unless you got a lot of noise.
I got a lot of noise.
Unmute. Courtney, I keep trying to unmute you and it keeps going back to mute. Are you clicking it too? Sharif? Sharif, there you go. I got muted. Courtney. Oh wait, one of y'all gotta be muted. That's right. Keep your picture up, but one of you guys got to be muted if you're in the same room.
Oh, he's giving you that feedback.
Yeah.
Send
The feedback.
me the mute.
Huh?
Send me the
Where did it go?
I just turned it off and we can just share it.
We sit together. Okay. Yay. How y'all been? So, we're getting ready to go live to have this discussion. So, I've not done this before. Mac, we could talk. I haven't hit go live yet. I gotta set up the post.
What are we going live on?
Facebook,
Oh, okay.
just to talk,
I'll go do yours.
have some conversation.
Okay. Apparently Sharice's phone's about to die, so we're gonna hang up and I'm gonna call and join it, okay?
Okay.
Ooh, that hurts so bad.
How come? Okay. I'm sorry, I'm typing and I can't do,
Sorry, y'all. I know I'm renting a 2-year-old house.
All good. It's all good.
Okay, it's getting ready to go live. I don't know whether it's gonna happen. Okay, oh, they're coming back. I'm sitting in the waiting room. That's my fault. They told me they was coming. All right. So,
One of the things, because I wanted to do a few things, Tavia.
uh-huh.
I just wanted to put my
We're live now, just so you know, but go ahead.
Oh. presentations out there. Well, okay, originally I was hoping that we could all create like a live performance together, like either recorded on Zoom or go on Facebook Live or IG Live together, performing either the protest scene or the jailhouse cipher. And even if we don't have any guys, like I think we as women could still do the jailhouse cipher.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But then Ken had found an old Death to White Supremacy video that I posted on YouTube.
Okay.
And she felt like
the gunshots in the very beginning. Oh my
right.
God. Listen. Go ahead.
So yeah, so we were talking about maybe trying to figure out how to edit the gunshots out of the beginning.
Okay.
Or like, you know, whatever performance ideas we had to maybe come together as artists and activists.
Well, I have the video. Did I send you the video of the play for the protest scene?
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
I think it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Well, the video from today, Tavia, for Death to White Supremacy was just, I mean, I like literally, I cried.
It's great. I think right now it's a good time to push it. Don't get me wrong. I do like that video.
We definitely have to get rid of the gunshots in the beginning. Definitely.
Yeah, that was the only thing that bothered me. And at the time when we did it,
that's what I told Ken.
We were so angry, and it was new to see these men. It was new to see people being shot on the screen like that. You know, it didn't. Right now, it's before. It didn't happen. It's been like the war. I'm gonna have to ask somebody to meet. Is that Zoo's baby?
Yeah, that's Sarai. Sound like Sarai anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, I just really got to the point where I couldn't see it anymore. I was watching them, and when I got one, I would watch it. But after so many, I think the last one was Castillo.
Yeah, Philando Castile.
Castile, the one in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the last one. After that, I couldn't watch it anymore.
I mean,
I haven't seen the one with George Floyd and Paul, but I've caught glimpses walking in and out of the living room. But it's
hard to watch. You're watching people lose their life right here on camera, and there have been some people who are like, you know, maybe that's another thing is with the filming. Okay, so one thing is some people are like, you know, they probably shouldn't film it. I'm like, well, I'm glad they do film it because then we get to see it. If we didn't have the film, we probably wouldn't even, right. Yeah. But then again, at the same time, I think I can't sit and watch someone lose their life in film. Like, I just don't think I could do that. I felt it's wrong. I don't care if it's a cop. I don't care who it is. It's wrong.
Right.
So, go ahead.
So much of the discussion that we had on Wednesday on the radio show was about the fact that this person who was taking this video, what emotions they were going through as this man's life left his body. And they were shouting out, from what I understand, that article, like I said, I haven't seen the video, but they were shouting out for him to stop, and people were passing by telling him to stop, and the fact that they didn't feel safe enough to go and stop him.
Right. Exactly, because they could have lost their life.
They could have not only lost their life, they could have got incarcerated, interfering with the policeman doing his job. You know, but at what point as a citizen are you able to make a decision to interfere with the work of this police officer doing his job and not have to be found guilty or in the wrong for doing it by the law? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I understand that.
Ooh, my hard thing is doing his job. If I was to see anyone killing anyone, I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying? So it's like
the limits of his job. He's no longer doing his job. You know? It's just disgusting.
And then just the after fact of it for the people who were recording it. Now we have a mental health problem.
She does. The girl's going through it.
That's the mental health, you know, so we really got to think about all those things, you know, when we're trying to advocate and make sure that the right things are allocated. Because I know, like, they're trying to make sure that the guy is charged with murder. But what about the other three? And then I still just keep thinking about those people with the phones, the people who recording.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta play that over and over in their head. They
Right.
have to. You know, so
And screaming and yelling for this man to stop. Just the fact that they were participating and trying to stop it and not being able to.
yeah.
My understanding was the policemen were standing and keeping them or anyone from getting close enough to save this man's life.
And again, it's scary because it's like modern day slavery. I mean, that's what they did. That's how they programmed the slaves. I'm gonna kill this person right in front of you. Let me see what you're gonna do. That's how they programmed it.
Right.
We're back in that same cycle again.
That's like business owners back when they were lynching folks. They lynched the people who were running businesses. Business owners were right. Keep you from wanting to be an uppity nigga. That's, you know, he got too uppity, so we hung his ass. Right. You know. So the mindsets of the oppressor is really baffling.
So this is my question. If we were going to create a program on how to respond in that situation, if it ever happened again, what's the consensus? What are we coming to? I mean, do we jump in and attack? I mean, I'm just like, can you really put me in jail for interfering with a cop taking someone's life? Like, because it's obstructing justice. Like, he's not doing his job at that point. He's killing someone. His job is to serve and protect, if that's what they say. If your job is to serve, protecting is killing. And if you can't step in and do your job and serve and protect, I'm going to step in and do your job for you, and I'm going to knock you up off this man.
Right.
If you know that, like, the jail time thing, the scary thing is that there were cops that were standing there and, you know, threatening. So yeah, back to that question, what would be the protocol? Is there one? Do we continue doing what we've been doing by watching and recording and, you know, on live? Do we keep that same?
Well, I think
continue to do that same thing.
I think that something legislatively needs to happen that takes the control of law enforcement out of the hands of our oppressor and gives it to them. That because of this system of injustice that's been created, that as a people, we need to be able to be the ones entrusted with the punishment, or what's it called when you go to prison, that you're supposed to go there and be reformed when you get out? What's that called? Rehabilitation. Okay, yeah. That we as a people should be the ones entrusted with policing our neighborhoods and enforcing the law for our neighborhoods and creating those laws for us, because they've created laws specific to target us as a people. You know, they had the black codes are what started law enforcement in the first place. You know, the foundation of the police department is rooted in white supremacy, and that when the slaves were free and they couldn't control them after Reformation, and they took all their land back, a lot of them took all their land back, they wanted to make it illegal for you to not have a job if you're black. If you weren't working, you were black, you go to jail for being lazy, I guess. I don't know. But they started lawmaking simply to control our communities and the policing of our communities. And a lot of the laws were created for the sole purpose of them studying our behaviors and patterns and saying, okay, this is what they like to do, so let's make this illegal. You know, right. And I think that all the laws on the books, they need to be reviewed, and laws that are racially biased need to be completely destroyed, or that were created for the sole purpose of targeting us as a community. That's like with crack cocaine. You can have one little piece of rock and get 10 years, and then you can have or 25 years, whatever it is, and then you can have a big old kilo of cocaine and get 5. I don't know what the sentencing are, but it's much smaller than one little piece of rock. They could make 1 million rocks out of this kilo, but one rock is more time. Why? Because Black folks were the ones holding the rocks. So I just think legislatively, we really need to figure out a way to become more active in affecting change in the laws that are already there and affecting change in who actually has jurisdiction over us.
If they made a law or some type of bylaw that says if the witness to some sort of stop and seize is under the impression that you've gone above your duty and beyond your duties and you've crossed the line, that they are allowed to make a citizen's arrest, and if you don't comply with the citizen's arrest, they're allowed to take physical force because it's already in a physical situation that it's been escalated to that level. So it should be understood that, listen, if I see this happening, I don't care where I'm at. If I see it happening, I'm going to make sure that somebody isn't being treated unjustly.
So we need police to police the police.
We need citizens to police the police.
Right. Citizens, I think, I like what Sharif is saying, because I think it's important to remember that we as citizens do have that right.
Because we do. They're not going to comply, and they are going to use all their force over that city law. You know what I mean? It's like a state-to-state thing where you can make citizens arrest and intervene in police brutality and shit like that at a level. But if they don't think they're being brutal, they're going to fight you to the tooth and nail. I wasn't being brutal. This is the force I needed to handle this 6'8" Black man with a arm span of, two of me.
But how is that even fair? Like, to whose word? Like, how come my word, you know what I'm saying, doesn't mean anything as much as yours? For you to be able to say that you needed to use that much force, it's like, no, the fuck you don't. Excuse my French. Okay.
And it would be that if you could prove this in this moment, yes, this is why I stopped your ass, because you killed this man.
So does that take like a group of people? Like,
I think so, Courtney.
Not just one person,
right.
This is why I pushed you off of him, because I could tell he was dying.
Right, and I think, but it has to be like, the thing is, if it's one person could have tried to run in that situation, then we have 2 people dead. But if there's 5 people standing by watching, those 5 people have to be able to agree and come together and say, we're all going to ambush this. We're all going to, there's power in the numbers, because that one individual person is too afraid to step out.
Right.
It was 3 other cops there too, so we got to keep that in mind.
That was the issue, is that they couldn't get to it because the other cops stopped, which for me, why can't, there's 4 police officers there. There wasn't one that was decent enough to have enough respect for life to stop his fellow officer from murdering this man. There wasn't one. So that's odd. That's not even 25%.
Right.
Yeah, that's really bad.
25% of the force.
Minneapolis.
I understand that he fired them immediately, right? I understand, because it really makes him look bad. But what percentage? Like, I was thinking about the cops yesterday out on Las Vegas Boulevard, policing the protests, and the number of cops that were there. There were hundreds of cops there. There were hundreds of cops there. Hundreds. I don't like. There were at least 100 cars, but hundreds of cops. And all in their uniform, ready to. They were ready for these protesters they were there to protect the property. Joel kept saying that when the protest, I was watching him on live as I'm trying to drive and find where they are. But couldn't get to them because all the barricades, and there's a lot of parking lots that are closed. But he kept saying, they're here to protect this property. That's what they get paid for. They're here to protect the property. And in my mind, I kept thinking, they're definitely not here to protect us, right? I mean, George Floyd is evidence that they're not here to protect us. There's so many who are evidence of that, unfortunately.
They were scared, and that's what.
I hope she hasn't been waiting too long.
So this is what I was thinking. I was thinking, what if there was a way that there was a group of people? Hi, Miss Sharita.
Hey, Sharita.
What if there was like a group of people who could or like a line that we could call in every state, that if you're witnessing a police brutality moment, you can call this line and agents will show up on the scene to, I guess, monitor the situation. Because the thing about the citizens is they don't trust, like, it has to be, I think the citizens have to appoint those people.
Right.
The citizens should be able to say, okay, these are the people that we want to be on the task force or the force that is able to monitor the police brutality.
Within the police department?
No, it doesn't even have to. It could be
of the police department.
Well,
are you guys talking about a citizen review board?
Something like that, maybe.
Yeah, something like a citizen review board. But what came up in the beginning was the idea that these people were standing there watching these four men who, one was committing the murder and the other three were culpable in being accessories to the murder, and not being able to stop them, you know, and what could they have done? You know, what could we do to be able in that instance to stop it? So Zuli was suggesting, and if I'm mistaken, let me know, but Zuli was suggesting that if someone were to come across the moment where they see this police brutality happening and someone being a victim of police brutality and they're witnessing it, that they could call this number and people would respond and come out to deal with the police, you know? Right? Is that what you
yeah, like something, something like that, like a board of they would basically be the authority, the elected community authority over
put them in the car with them. Put that elected authority in the car with them every time they go out. Keep them next to them, right? Not the body cam ain't enough. They need the elected authority, whoever these people are, need to be sitting right there watching them, taking notes. Okay, yeah, he handcuffed, he read him his rights. This was routine, pull over, whatever. You know, they need to be right there in the car with them.
I mean, that's
it has to be like a job.
Yeah. That would be somebody's job. That would have to be a job. You know, but would you have to have one for every police car that goes
every car? If you got you only have one or two persons in the squad car.
At least one that's coming out on the call. You know what I'm saying? Like whoever's going to these calls, at least one person that's going to the call, because
they can't even start. They can't even start the frisk or anything.
If there was four police officers, if there was 4 police officers, it would have been one more person to be able to watch the situation for the citizens, right?
And if the nigga run off, okay, they run catch them later, like when they normally do. Because sometimes they'll run off, they ain't gonna wait. But that's when you're dealing with crackheads and people that are guilty, of course. But if you really in a situation where you got somebody pulled over and they have nothing to hide, you make us wait for 2.5 hours anyway.
Right.
I don't know if y'all been pulled over, but they try to stretch it out.
Yeah, it's terrifying to be pulled over.
It really is.
Stopped randomly. They try to stretch it out. They say they're waiting for the other person, and the whole thing, they just try to get as much as they can. So, okay, well, let's wait. Let's wait for your committee to get here.
Right.
You can't even start this process until they get here.
Yeah, and the law has to say, like, you shouldn't have more police officers than there is the body that you're trying to handle.
Oh
Because
yeah,
if you can handle
absolutely.
if you can handle that man with that much force as one police officer, what did you need 4 other police officers there
Right.
for? So there only needs to be one person to handle the situation, and instead of a partner, their partner is that elected official who makes sure that they're always doing their job right.
And Julie, I was speaking to Sharita about that because she mentioned how there was about 1,000 pounds of force on this man. Because if you're adding up, each man is about 200 pounds, and their vest is 50 pounds each, 40 to 50 pounds in their gear and their tacticals. So that is about 1,000 pounds if you add 4 guys laying on top of one guy.
Did you guys watch the video?
No, I can't. I really can't. I just
I
seen
can't
images. And I know how the police work. They try to recruit me all the time, and they admittedly hire people that are afraid. They don't hire like the big guys like they used to hire, like big athletic guys back in the day that could defend themselves and handle. They hire purposely smaller people of smaller stature and people that are a little more timid psychologically, so that their first instinct is to shoot, to kill, and to protect themselves. They not no brawlers. They're not people that grew up fighting and defending themselves, so they feel like they can handle you. They're people that are like, I just need a job. First of all, most of the people like that. I need a job. I think I can do this. And they're the average
add
person.
something else into that? When I went through the Citizens Police Academy, one thing that I learned, they honestly teach these officers, they train them shoot to kill. Along with that, they also have a code of what they call the it's about the oh my goodness. It's oh my goodness. It's I can't think of the name, but it's when the less violent you are up to the most escalated. And it's a guideline, but their union is trained on how to use the verbiage in that to support them. And they fight on that, and they train them on that. I have witnessed it on the so-called Citizens Review Board, because when they step away from saying what the union wants them to say based on that tier, the union stops them and takes over. We got to learn what those things are. We got to learn how they're trained, because right now we're fighting against something. We're fighting against a system, and it's operating in a certain way, and we got to understand what we're fighting against.
Right.
And honest to God, they are trained. They are trained to kill. They're trained to kill because they are told you want to go home. Now, I highly recommend anybody and everybody to go, if you can participate in the Citizens Police Academy. It's going to be hard to keep your mouth shut, but you will learn exactly the way that these people are
infiltrate a little bit.
Those officers. You will learn it. It's ingrained in them. That's the bullshit that also needs to stop.
The training.
That
horrible training.
Yeah, the training is where, because that you shouldn't be able to, there's no reason, I'm sorry, even if a person does have drugs in their home, like there has to be another way. Like you shouldn't be able to put your knee on someone's neck like that to the point where they cannot breathe.
And again, it's not protocol. That's another thing you gotta look at.
It's not protocol.
At the protest, look at the helicopter.
Oh, there's a protest happening right now still?
They already got the hell, but yet and still, those white people went down to the state capitol, busted in there with their guns, and nobody did nothing. But they already got the police out here. I'm sorry, I'm pissed.
Say that again. White folks went where? To the state capitol?
Yeah.
To the state capitol with guns because they wanted the city to open back up. No, not Nevada.
Oh,
that was in Michigan. That was in
And
Michigan. That was my hometown. But right after, we did have some activists, black activists that were licensed to carry. They went ahead and they escorted one of the black senators in. They didn't get any hassle. They said they wasn't going in like the people did before. The white people did. But they did escort one of the black senator or governor. One of the women, she's black, but they did escort her in because she said she didn't feel safe.
Because all the white folks
they wanted to show that, yeah, we do have guns too, but we won't come in yelling and screaming and all that, how they did.
Like they did. Yeah. And the police did nothing to them. To the
police didn't do anything to them.
With guns.
Yeah. But sometimes I just feel as black people, we give in so easy.
Passive.
Let's just Martin Luther King it out and something that happened. Y'all, I don't know.
Well, we're not
I've been listening to Malcolm X a lot.
Right. Malcolm X.
I always wonder if people really would listen to Malcolm X, what would the difference be? Because we're so used to turning the other cheek and singing some gospel songs, and you get tired of that. I know I'm tired of it. I get tired of it. So sometimes I'm like, yes, okay, it's good to have this person here to help, but honestly, I think it's time for all of us to start protecting ourselves.
Because that 1,000 necessary. The 1,000 pounds of weight that suffocated that man is 1,000 years of oppression that's suffocating us.
Right.
Yeah.
That's going to continue if we don't do something. But the thing is what is the something?
We're not properly trained. Like when we talk about listening to Malcolm X, like the Nation of Islam, they were properly trained on how to protect themselves at the time. But even he separated from that. But we need to we have that organization, like a way for us to communicate, I think is number one, like without being completely, we're always going to be monitored. There's nothing we can do to get away from that, unless, but we've got to start having like more in-person meetings or having encrypted conversations.
Encrypted.
So where we can start planning on how we're going to get trained in whatever it is that we need to train in. And that's all, all areas that we need to be growing food. We need to have backup plans for when people are protesting and get arrested, what's going to happen with the kids of the parents who may have been protesting, who's taking care of what, who's on the front lines. Like we need to have an organized system. Because
funds to get these protesters out once they've been arrested.
Right. And we don't have I think the biggest issue is we're trying to organize and we talk about organizing, but it's been really hard, but we've really got to start putting some steps into motion and making sure training on how to fight is big for our people, because we talk about this, but most of our people don't even know how to hold or use a gun properly.
Yeah.
They've never shot a gun.
Never shot a gun. Other than at the amusement park when you're trying to get the toy.
It's loud. It's very loud. I'm a trained marksman.
Yeah. Well, you need to take us shooting.
Yeah, Sharita.
Where do you go shoot? Where do you go?
I usually go to the range or out to the desert.
Oh.
All right, so there's Sharita.
We're on the Facebook Live, just in case you didn't know that. The Zoom is on Facebook Live. The Zoom is on Facebook Live. I just realized that you might not have known that.
Bam, bam, bam. Find me now. Step to me. I know how to aim at your ass. You shooting to kill. I know how to too.
Okay.
Right. And I just actually came from a new community garden that I started with this group called Urban Renaissance Culture. And the guy who, started the land for us, or who owns the land, he walks around the land all day with his, his weight belt, his bulletproof vest, and his gun, on him. Wow. And it's funny because it's normally people would see a black man walking around like that and think he's a thug, whatever. But he's honestly just protecting our block, protecting us while we work, just as if a police officer was supposed to protect the block or whatever. And so we've got to be more used to seeing that, and we've got to train up our men to be like, no, the same authority that these police officers believe they have when carrying around a gun is the same authority you have.
That's what Black Panthers did.
Right. It is.
That's exactly what they did.
And then they created a lot of laws to keep you from being able to own a gun as a Black Panther.
So here's the other thing too, because there are, or like you just mentioned that organization, there are organizations here that is doing the work. We also need to get with them to find out what they're doing so that we know where the gaps are.
Right. Right.
Because everything isn't covered. So where are the gaps? What is Plan doing? What is MASLib doing? What is Force Trajectory doing? What is MAC Movement doing? What is everybody doing so that we can find our own niche, everybody work in their loop, you know, and come together and meet and talk about this is where we are, this is what we need, and this is what we're doing in order to make this work.
Right. Well, I thank you for starting your profile on the City Movement page. And I created that website, and it's definitely for a community to come together to communicate and talk about issues and share what their ideas are and what they're doing. I've not been as active on it as I'd like to be because I've been working on getting all my real estate stuff done right now. But I definitely want to invite you guys to go to the MendocityMovement.com. And if you haven't created a profile, create one. And let's start having conversations in the forum. I can post this video on that site, but there's so much on there that you can do. You can create a profile. You can put posts up. You can ask people to be your friends. It's kind of just like a Facebook platform. You can create your own groups. There's a forum where every single calling is listed in whatever area that you feel that you're called to answer and do work in. You can start talking and having discussions in that forum about things that you want to do. There's a job board, and that job board isn't just for people to work with. If you want to hire stuff for your business and you have a position, you need someone to work, that's great. But if you have an idea or a proposal about something that you want to share that people can look at and say, hey, you know what? He's got this program that's helping these young men, you know, do this right to passage, and we really need something like that. That's where I'm called to work. I want to help with that business doing that. You know, if you're a business or an organization, you can join and put your business or your organization on there. And right now, everybody, it's free to join. I would like to be able to start collecting donations, and if you're able to join and pay the $10 a month, $19 a month or more fee, depending on what it is that you do, you can do that. If you can afford it, that doesn't stop you from participating. So if you haven't already, I would really love to encourage you to go on there and create your profile. There's still a lot more I need. If you're out there listening, and if it's not one of you and you're, you know, savvy with the whole website development and web mastering, just hit me up, because we need someone to really help us manage that as well. Are you talking, Courtney? I think you're muted. I can't hear you.
You said what? Is it too noisy?
Oh, Courtney.
I was just making a joke. I was just
commentating.
We were just commentating.
Wait, where's the camera? Oh yeah, we want you.
Okay.
Come down to the Mac move.
Right. And
Courtney needs to sing that song live right now. Another black man dead in the
She got you started.
Come on, Sheree.
Another black man dead, shot by police.
Where you at?
Come on, sing it.
Who are supposed to be keeping the peace, but the peace isn't and it's a brutality. Man, that's just so real. That's just so real right now.
That hit me. I'm telling y'all, that hit me.
Right.
Literally, when I heard it, I was just like, oh my, I heard it. And I was like, this was in our play. Like, that really hit me. It really did.
Man, like Algie, you have put it in the group message that you had thought about that song, and I promise you, like earlier that same day, that song was like so in my spirit, and it's like I feel like I was just speaking the words, and it's like that shit was like bringing me to tears, because it's like these are our Black men, these are our fathers, our brothers, our sons, our cousins, and our lovers, you know. And it's like, it's not fair to be hated like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like niggas ain't even doing nothing,
right?
Yeah, we made a good point earlier today. I'm like, the fact is that, like she was saying, they're picking on us, and then they're doing it all weird. Like you gonna keep Tukey Williams for how long? They keep Tukey for 10 years, but you killed George in 15 minutes. Why are they doing it like that? On top of that, it's like, okay, there's niggas that really done killed people, shed blood for no reason, and then there's you killing people but you're killing all the people selling CDs and going to school playing with toy guns.
Might be selling a loose cigarette.
Selling a loose cigarette. Okay, yeah, that tobacco.
Oh my God, he was selling a loose cigarette.
50 cents.
Let's take his life.
And this is where I get really upset too, bro, because it's like, I feel like a broken record, you know, because we always talking about these things with each other, but white people can spit in their face, try to fight a nigga, pull a gun out, nigga, shoot at you, but they'll get like a slap on the wrist. They might go to jail for like a couple months, maybe not even that, you know what I'm saying? They'll be like, niggas be like, I didn't do that. Just the shit that I've seen, because I like to watch police and the way they make arrests and stuff like that when I am able to, like the PD cams and stuff like that. I like to watch stuff like that because it's really interesting to see the difference in how they treat brown skin, Black people
for the same
and
charges.
the way they treat white people. I'm like, bro.
Well, yeah, the justice system was set up for the white people. So, I mean, that's the thing. The justice system was set up for them. It was set up for them. It wasn't set up for people of color. And I think that's the thing. Like, so many people believe that. I mean, and maybe some people of color have gotten justice, but it wasn't set up for people of color.
Yeah.
So I don't expect them.
And that's why we need to stay out of the jails and out of the hospitals, because it wasn't set up for us. We need to know our laws. We need to get the hell out of their system, out of their way. Let them arrest each other. Get all your IDs, get all your shit together. Don't even give them a reason to even be up in your shit. That's probably why people go sovereign and all take it to those levels, because it's like, I want to be exempt from this. I have nothing to do with this. Now,
okay, y'all, I'm going to show y'all something else. I'm going to show y'all, they think they slick. Hold on.
Are you out there for the protest?
Yeah. Wait, come back. Look.
Is that cops?
Yeah.
Where are you?
Riot. Container Park.
Container Park. And they're in riot gear?
Riot gear. Can you see them?
That's
I'm like, it looks like tactical gear.
Tactical riot.
That's exactly what I mean.
Foolproof riot gear.
So I heard that they were running into the crowd yesterday.
They were pushing people. I saw it. Shoved this boy. The boy fell into another girl. He got up ready to fight. They grabbing people up. They're about to fight past the white person and grab the brother and threw him on the ground. I'm oh my God.
Sharita, you be good out there, man.
Yeah, and I wanted to I had told Tommy, one of the main reasons I wanted to gather this, because I wanted to see if you guys would be down or had any ideas of maybe doing the actual Death to White Supremacy on, you know, us inviting people and us like going live, you know, making sure that it's all together and that you know, everybody invites someone, let them know the time, and then we can get on and then we can do the performance.
Right.
Of Death to White Supremacy, but I definitely wanted it to be
the protest.
Yeah, the protest.
Jailhouse Cypher. We just not none of the guys here today.
Right. Definitely.
You want to get down?
Hey,
This might take me a minute, but
That's cool. I'm with it. I'm with trying to do that.
So what's a day that's good for everyone, or should we like create a poll?
It was asking me about creating a poll. It says that I'm live, that we're live, but I can't see.
they got riot gear already set up inside container park. Inside, riot gear, the green riot gear. I'm dead serious. I just walked past them. I came from the alley. That's how I saw the back there where the stage is.
I'm just wondering, like, how
That's how they were yesterday too.
They were back by the stage. I don't know how.
They was
that way.
definitely all in riot gear. I can't tell if this is going live. It says that it is. I can't find it on the page. I've gone to the
We
page.
gotta go, but I'm down to figure out a day and time for us to try to do the performance.
Me too.
So would we want to do it and
We could even try to like record it and post it or something, you know?
We need to advertise it too, that it's coming up whatever the date is.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to talk so we can advertise it. Choose a date, advertise it, and then I want us to have one more meeting because I want us to do something like one of the things that made the video that Kim was talking about so powerful was the faces of all the people killed by the police. So if we could somehow have like everyone have in their homes a picture that they could maybe hold up on the screen.
There's an organization that has a lot of those pictures, and it's called Force Trajectory. They keep track of all of that.
Okay, cool. So I'll look into that so we can try to get everyone the pictures. And then us just kind of work out everyone's part for you to do on the performance day. But maybe what we'll do is how about Tavia, you can just send out a poll on the Facebook chat and then we can all come together to figure out a date.
Okay.
Facebook poll.
All right, y'all. Well, we love you guys.
Okay. All right. One more.
bye, you guys.
Love you too.
On June 18th at midnight, going into the 19th. So June 19th, I'd like to do a soul tie cutting ceremony for to release the soul ties and the sacred energy.
It's about to get loud, you guys.
Sharita, mute your video real quick.
Yo, Sharita, mute. Mute, Sharita.
Mute your video real quick, Sharita. Just real quick.
Yeah.
I needed it.
All right, say it again, Tavia. Going into the 19th of June.
I want to do a soul tie cord cutting ceremony, where we are cutting the cord, that cord that keeps us bound to the oppressive energy of what's happened to our ancestors up until now. Like,
Love it. Love it.
Sounds great.
so it would start at midnight on the 18th, going into the 19th. So I'm thinking after we do that, maybe on the 19th we can do the performance.
Juneteenth. Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good idea. What day is that on?
It's June 19th is a Friday, I think. I'm not positive. Let me check this out.
Okay.
You all come back, we're gonna be here anyway, okay?
That's a Friday. Okay, June 19th.
Okay. All right.
Does that work for you guys?
We're gonna do the performance in the day? Or
We could do it that night.
okay. Sharice gonna be at work. I mean, yeah, I guess we could all on Zoom, whatever.
Okay, I can't hear you. Okay, you're muted. Okay.
I said, do you want to connect the performance with the soul tie cutting ceremony?
No, I think maybe we should do them separate. I think
it should be
after midnight. We would do the soul cutting ceremony, and then that next evening, the early morning after midnight on Thursday, going into Friday, right? Thursday's the 18th, Friday's the 19th. So Thursday night after midnight, on the morning of the 19th at like 12:01, we do the soul tie cutting ceremony. And then that evening, maybe
around 7 or 8 o'clock at night, your time or off. I think whatever works for you.
You guys,
Bye, y'all.
All right.
Is that right? Oh, they're leaving. Okay.
okay, guys, I know I can't hear you. I know you can't hear me. Text me the dates that you guys are talking about.
Okay.
Wait, Sharita, are you going live? Are you showing this live on Facebook?
If this is live, it is, yeah.
It's live on Facebook right now because
Yeah, I want to see.
I'm gonna put her. We're gonna go live on her page.
Yeah, you want to go live on your page?
Huh? Go on my page.
Yeah, do you want to go live on your page so I can? I want to watch it.
Oh, look at here. Did we lose her? Oh, she hung up. So are we good? I don't. It says that this is being recorded live. I'm gonna text her and tell her to go live.
Okay, thank you, Algie.
So we're set. Maybe next week Saturday we can do this again, and then the following week it would be the time to do it. Okay. So next Saturday, same time, 6 o'clock, good? Or was that too early or too late for anybody? Was 6 o'clock good, or was it too early, too late?
It's not fine. I just had a last minute meeting earlier, but that should be fine for me.
Okay.
It's fine for me too.
Okay, good deal. I love y'all. Thank you so much.
Love you too.
All right,
love you
on
nuts.
Facebook. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back next Saturday at the same time, 6 o'clock. In the meantime, check us out on Wednesday on MACM Radio from 4 to 5 p.m. hot7025fm.com. Solution Central. All right, y'all. Peace out.
Right.